Hi everyone, Sandy Holterhaus, your rec center dietitian, and today we are talking our diet strategies for insulin resistance and slowing that progression of type 2 diabetes. So I will go ahead and get started here. So I went through a lot of materials as I was putting this class together. And as I went through insulin resistance and studying prediabetes and diabetes, I came up with a lot of commonalities of strategies that would work to help in either slowing the progression or halting the progression or reducing inflammation if you do have type 2 diabetes. So these were the strategies that were common to all. Weight loss, so certainly losing a little bit of weight, maybe 10 to 15 pounds even, can make a big difference in insulin resistance and your blood sugar control. Reducing saturated and trans fats are really important because of heart health. Heart health becomes a concern if you have insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, because as your blood sugar starts to go up, your blood becomes thicker and it's easier for it to lay down plaque in your bloodstream in those vessels. So we want to make sure that we are keeping that saturated fat and those trans fats down. We will talk about all these things as we go through the program. We also want to reduce or balance the carbohydrate that we're taking in, because carbohydrate is the main macronutrient that raises the blood sugar. So we will be going through some carbohydrate balancing and counting strategies that can help you to moderate the amount of carb you're taking in and also spread it throughout the day. We also know that reducing those red meats and processed meats is healthy for the heart. There are many studies that show that red meat in the diet or those processed meats will contribute to inflammation in your body. So we want to be reducing those in the diet, and just knowing that there's plenty of other poultry, fish, meats that you can eat that don't have or cause as much inflammation as red meat. Also, we want to increase soluble fiber intake. We'll discuss that, and that goes pretty well hand in hand with increasing those colorful fruits and vegetables in the diet. So we will be discussing and using those in our menu plans as well. We want to talk about using those healthy fats in the diet, so those monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated omega-3s are going to be very beneficial to helping reduce inflammation in the body and providing good fullness, that fullness factor that we're looking for when we're eating, so that satisfaction. Other lifestyle strategies outside of the diet are exercising, and I will go through some slides on those later in the class. We also talk about the importance of getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Also herbs that you might be able to use to help reduce, control blood sugar a bit. And also the importance of partner or family support, someone to assist you or support you in eating the same types of foods that you're eating. So if you have that, that shows much better luck with your outcomes. So as I was, again, searching for the diet for this class, again, really what the factors told me is what we want to have are these features, and it is that balanced carbohydrate and spreading those carbs throughout the day, reducing those saturated fats, removing those red and processed meats, increasing that fiber intake, those colorful fruits and vegetables, including the healthy, satisfying fats, and decreasing inflammation. And later in the program, we will also have some slides on decreasing inflammation. Here is a cookbook. I found this cookbook online just for low carb Mediterranean diet. Again, we're not focusing on a super low carb diet, but you can certainly eat low carb meals and then save some of those carbohydrates that you want for snacks. So maybe you want apples or bananas or grapes and those kinds of things for snacks. So including those there and having lower carb um, meal plans. So just one of the sites I love to go to is oldway.spt.org, and that is a site that contains traditional diets on it. And Mediterranean diet is a very traditional diet. It's shown to reduce inflammation. If you follow the Mediterranean diet on its own, you should get some natural weight loss over time, but it's not a weight loss diet per se, because you're not usually counting calories or carbohydrates. If we do add that dimension in of counting carbohydrates and counting our calories, that really helps to speed up that process of losing weight. So that is an option in that class, and I'll show you that sheet here coming up. But just focusing on the pyramid here for the Mediterranean diet, you see the base of the pyramid is really interacting with your family members, your friends, and also being active with your lifestyle. As you move up the pyramid, you go into those plant-based foods that are so healthy for us, that provide lots of phytonutrients and antioxidants. So those are that second phase of that pyramid. Then we move on up to fish. I know a lot of people aren't big on fish, but if you can find some tuna or salmon or a few types of fish that you will eat, that would be great. Or if not, we can also find a fish oil supplement to get into your diet. That next level is poultry, eggs, cheese, and yogurt. So those are items that you might have some days to most days in the diet. And then meats and sweets are up there at the top. And mostly you're drinking water, maybe some tea, and wine is also permitted, the red wine, in moderation, of course. And that does not have to be included in the diet, but is certainly a choice that you can make to have. So if we were going to carb and calorie control this diet, here's a chart that I put together for you. So just for example, so say you weigh about 160 pounds, and I'm just taking the zeros off here at the top, and your goal weight is to get down to 140, 145. I would put you on a 1,400 calorie a day diet. That's just very simple how we throw it together in the hospital when we're doing a diet plan. So we take where we'd like you to be weight-wise, and then we go ahead and have that be your calorie level. So this is just one more element, again, that you can throw into this diet, helps you to get that weight loss quicker. But if it's too much at this point, it can be something that you bring in later. You can just focus on the Mediterranean diet foods and reducing inflammation with those. But just again, for example, if you're at 260 and you want to get to 220, that's your goal, then you would want to follow this 2,200 calorie per day diet. And so I've got laid out here the total carb that you could take in during the day, the amount of added sugars that you could take in, and that's part of that total carb. So sugars is part of the carb that you're taking in. I've got in here also amount of protein at about 25% of your diet. So that would be in here as well. And then that total fat in grams, about 37%. That's would be typical of a Mediterranean diet. Generally somewhere between 35 to 45% of your diet would be fats, and mostly those healthy fats. And then if we were to look at how much saturated fat you could take in per day, it would be about 7% of that total. So you can see those grams here. If you have heart disease, your doctor might have you even wanting to go lower with your saturated fat intake. So some people are at 5 to 6% of their total fat calories as saturated fat. So I can work with you if you want to do that. And we have the sodium for everyone, all adults, would be 1,500 milligrams or less per day. And that's to help keep blood pressure down and help you from retaining water in your body as well. So very helpful thing to keep that sodium level down. And most of us are getting twice that amount of sodium. So it can be very hard to do, but if you start to get on a Mediterranean diet or a whole foods plant-based diet, that can help take down that sodium level. This is just another sheet that you will find on the Old Ways website. And I just like to print this out and have it for everyone. It's in your booklet, your diet booklet, which we'll go through. And I like to go ahead and just highlight, if I print this out, all the foods that I like on here, so I can find that common ground that I have. And again, you can include other fruits and vegetables. They don't have to be listed on here. These are just common ones that you would find in the Mediterranean diet. But if you highlight those, then you might find that you like more fruits and vegetables than you might be thinking. A lot of people come in and say, I don't like any fruits and vegetables. But then once you start to look or talk with them, you can find some fruits and vegetables that they are agreeable to and will start to eat. So again, that's in your booklet. You can highlight though, you can print that out and highlight that, or just looking online at it as well. So that is all for this presentation. Next week we will be talking about insulin resistance, but you will have also videos this week on that diet booklet that has the menu plans, and also on some carbohydrate balancing and counting. So thanks for joining.